Hi, fellow traders. I want to take a moment before we get started to remember all those who were lost on 9/11. That's something that's going to be etched into my mind and my memory and my heart for as long as I live. It just seems like yesterday. I can remember it, what happened. I can remember my buddy calling me and me running to his shop, and just standing there watching and not really just being numb. And, you know, the outpouring, the way the country came together and all the support. It's just an amazing thing. And this is the one time that everybody, no matter what their background, no matter what they believe in, they come together and honor these guys. And it's a beautiful thing. Also thinking about those who have been affected by the hurricane these last several weeks. More recently, those in Florida. And I believe I heard from everybody who's in Florida that, they're safe and sound, and they might have been a little scuffed up, but everything is good. And now we're getting the back end of it. We got some pretty good rain and wind already today, knocked down some limbs on top of my house and all in the front yard. But they say we're going to get another round of it here in a little bit. It's going to be a little bit more intense. So nothing like what the guys in Florida had to experience. But for us, our infrastructure is just not where it needs to be. So a little bit of strong wind and a limb comes down and it knocks the power line down, we're out for 2 or 3 days. And if you're not in an affluent neighborhood, and I'm not in an affluent neighborhood, we're the last on the list. So, anything can happen. So if I'm not here tomorrow, just know it's probably my power is out or the internet got knocked out, one thing or another. But know that I will be back. It's just that, unfortunately, we just have a terrible infrastructure. And, it's something that I've had to deal with going forward. Now, in a couple of years, when we get out of here, it'll be different. But right now, I just have to deal with it. So I did announce this weekend. I do have put together an enhanced individual mentoring packages, a little bit different than what I offered before. It used to be the beginner mentoring. This is not just for beginners. It's for people who they might have been trading for a year or 2 years and they just can't really get traction. They just really can't keep going. They have to keep starting over and starting over and starting over. And you need that individual one-on-one help. You need somebody that you can talk to, that you can discuss things with, that can help you sort, things out. And that's what I like doing. As a teacher, that was my favorite job. And I enjoy doing it. But I have to limit it because I don't have an unlimited amount of time. So I announced this yesterday. I'm like maybe 1 or 2 from being full. I need to check. I should have checked before I started this video. I know I've got 1 or 2 slots left, but this is something that you really need if you are having trouble getting over the hump. But you get 9 hours of one-on-one instruction. We could break it up. We can do 30 minutes a week. We can do 2 meetings for 30 minutes a week. However you want to break it up, we can break it up. But you get a year subscription to the chat room. And again, if you're already an annual subscriber, you do get a discount, on this. So just get in touch with me and we'll work that out. But in between our meetings, you can email me, text me. I have a lot of guys I work with send me charts. They'll send me their trading journals and everything so that when we meet, we've got other things to this. We can discuss things as well. But the content is going to be specific to what you need as a trader. I don't have I do have a curriculum for those that just want to learn trading, but most have specific needs, and I can adjust the content to fit those specific needs. But the main thing is I try to help you define yourself as a trader. Who you are, what you like, what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are, the things that you really need to focus on throughout the day to keep you from going in the wrong direction. And I also help you develop the right mindset, the psychology of trading. And one of the bonuses that I'm going to have is, once I get everybody signed up, I'm going to do a Day Traders Mindset workshop for free. It's a four session workshop that really gets into the psychology of trading and helps you develop the right mindset. We spend, some time. It's like 4 classes. They're about an hour and a half long, and it's a $450 value. So really, you're getting the chat room, which is $400. You're getting the Day Traders Mindset workshop for $450. So you're getting, $850 worth of stuff for free. But the best thing is you get me. I'm at your beck and call. So, like I said, I've got 2 spots left. And if you're interested, get with me, and, we can make it happen. All right, so let's look at today. Took a couple trades on TEVA. The first one was a pre-market trade. No, it wasn't TEVA. Okay, the first one was an opening range breakout trade. I'm getting ahead of myself. I was looking for the opening range breakdown. We had the big candle here. Now, whenever we get a big candle like this, or we get an abnormally long wick, I just use the body. And here I felt incredibly safe using the body, because look at the VWAP, the 20, the 9. We're all up under this. And I'm like, this is solid resistance. So I felt safe getting in this just before this candle closed. I felt pretty good. I would have gotten in on this candle, because this candle opened and started to sell off. But I got in here, and it got bought right back up. And then I got in, then this candle printed, we started to sell off. And all of a sudden, this thing took off and ended up getting stopped out. I had it at 66. I had a 20-cent stop on this, but I got about 4 cents slippage on it, on the stop out, because this thing was running pretty fast. But you can see it was just terrible. This was a nice setup. If I saw this tomorrow, I would take it again. I would take it again. It's just that this stock wasn't as settled as I thought it was, and it turned around on me. So I waited, and here was the opening range high through here. I waited, got in on the opening range breakout. We got a pullback, didn't stop me out. Then we got to move up here to my first target, and I covered some. And then I was going to put in, I took my stop out, and I was going to change my stop back to break even. Accidentally hit. I thought I had put it on stop, but it was on market, and it immediately took me out. So ended up actually getting out of this position when I really didn't want to. And this is it right here. I got in at 1812, held through this pullback, had enough room, and got out here at 1835. That was my first target, and just messed up. Ended up getting out at 1831, by mistake. So you can see I left too much on the table here. Way too much. And it was just, I could have gotten back in here off of this level. There was a level here. And I could have gotten in back off of this and risked on it for the neck to move up. But the way the day had been going, I just didn't feel confident. But this was a solid trade. So it's pretty much equal me out here. This trade pretty much washed that trade. So, that's how everything started on TEVA. But you can see this was long all the way. Because we had this big pullback, I just thought we were coming back. But, it is what it is. I was trying to read the price action, and they just fooled me. Just as simple as that. All right, so the one that I really worked all day was TAHO. And this one I started pre-market as well. I shorted it under here because I thought we were going to sell off, which we did. But it sold off after I got stopped out. So, of course, that's what happens. I got in here. We just couldn't get anywhere. It ran up and stopped me out, and I just left it alone. We were within 9 o'clock here, between 9 and 9:15, and typically I don't take trades that late. But I've been watching the price action lately, and we've been getting some solid price action into open. This one just didn't work out. So here I waited, and I got the opening range breakout on this one as well. Where's the next trade? All right, here we go. I got the opening range breakout. I bought at 660, right at 665, and I took it up, hit my first target up here at 685. We got out at 686. I had it set just over 7. This level here, you can't see the price, but this is 702. I had a bid at 705. I never did get there. And then we ended up selling off, and I ended up stopping out because we were pulling back. And what I was waiting to see if we were going to bounce off this again and make the move up, but we didn't. We sold off, and I just took my eyes off of it. So I waited and waited, and we finally, came back over. Oh, shoot. Okay, guys, sorry about the abrupt cutoff. We lost. We had a power surge again. Everything went black. But now it's back up. And I think I was talking about, I waited patiently for it to come back over VWAP. We pulled over it, pulled back, and then here on the second attempt, normally that's when it's time to take it. I always wait for the second test of it. And got in and ended up, pulling back. And, we lost this. So I'm like, this is a short. So I got out of this position and ended up shorting it. And I held this thing pretty much all day. You can see this is I got in, let's see, 1,000 shares. I don't know how many shares I got. But I loaded up on this thing. I shorted it So I held through all of this. As long as we stayed below the 20, I felt pretty good with this. So, we just kept coming down. So this time I went ahead and took profit here. Took some off here, just below 645. And as soon as I took profit, this thing just sold off. Now I've been waiting since 12 o'clock. Just been waiting for this thing to sell off. And here but I did lock in some profit on this, which was good. And I covered some here. Covered some here. And I was waiting to get to this level. But you see this red line here, this is the 5-minute opening range low. And when you put in the 5-minute opening range low and high, those levels are relatively strong once they come back inside. If they break out of it, then you've got a good breakout. But once they get back inside, it's kind of hard to get through. So I probably should have covered some here, at 24, 25. But I didn't. I was waiting for it to get down here. And we came back through and dipped just below 620 again. I thought we were going to finally get down here. But we didn't. And I ended up taking it off right over 625. But this was a solid trade. It's just that because I had so many shares, it, went through all of these doggone tickets. But, it filled it 200, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100. It just, that's just the way it did it. But, pretty pleased with the way I ended the day. I missed the home run trade. That was the one that really would have made my day. This EFX, but I'm glad a lot of guys in chat caught this. To me, this was a carbon copy of what happened Friday. We had this big sell-off candle. Then I went to get in on a VWAP rejection and I ended up getting stopped out. So I took my eyes off of this. But I should have gone ahead and still traded this opening range breakdown because this was solid. We had one leg down. And even if I held through all of this, if I had covered it all, and I easily could have gotten back in here. Because once we had this test and fail, this was a clear entry. And this is where, I pointed it out in chat, but I was too heavy in that other stop to really get in this. And I didn't want to dump it and then jump in this. But, even though I probably would have made more money on this trade, or it might have balanced out, because I was so heavy in the other stop. But, this was a solid, the perfect setup. This is exactly what we look for every day for our trend continuation. We get the initial move down, we let it consolidate and grind around for a little bit, and then we get weakness coming out of lunch, and it just kind of fades the rest of the day. This is exactly the move I look for every day. I just, because I let the way it traded on Friday influence my decision, I didn't take it, and I just missed out. But this is just an example of the moves that I really like to trade. Like on Tuesday of last week, this is a stock the kind of stock that I got in and I traded all day, and we made, after commissions, over $750 on. And I really believe I could have made pretty much the same thing on this, trading like 200 shares of it, had I been in it. But woulda, coulda, shoulda, we just have to be ready for the next one. All right, guys, so that's going to be it. Remember, if you're interested in the mentoring package, just shoot me an email, or you can sign up on my website, averagejoetrader.com. If you want to join us in the chat room, I trade a small account every day. I don't, I took a $6 stock, with a small account, with a $2,500 account, you could have taken 2,000 shares of a $6 stock, with a solid setup like that. So, anything that revolves around trading with a small account, managing your risk, respecting your stops, respecting your rules. I mean, that's what it's all about. And that's what I preach. That's what I talk about every day in chat. And it's all related to starting small, building yourself up, building your confidence, building your account up. Slow and steady wins the race. That's what's going to keep you in. The only people that go backwards are the ones that get ahead of themselves and think they know more than the market, or those that start chasing the market, trying to change what they do to try to make money in the market. But you got to be careful about that. There's certain things you can change in your approach, but you can't change your whole mindset. You can't just start changing your strategies around trying to chase the market. Just wait for it to come back, because it does come back. Just have to be patient. Take what it gives you and just wait for it to come back, and you'll be fine. All right, so everybody that's still dealing with this hurricane, stay safe. I plan to stay safe and in the house, locked up tonight. So again, if I'm not in chat, it's either because our internet's out or my power's out. But if I have it, or if I could get to somewhere around here, I'll get there. But if not, just know that's what it is, and I'll be online as soon as humanly possible. So take care, have a great night, great evening, and I will hopefully see you guys first thing in the morning.